15 years ago. I've been working for, well, painter, sculptor, artist in general. I've been working for, this is for the people who doesn't know me, so I have to introduce myself. I've been working for almost every company since Night Models, Andrea Miniatures, Pegaso Model, Nude Planet, Dark Age, Fortual, Scale 75, well, many companies. Sometimes as a painter, sometimes as a sculptor, sometimes as an art director. I brought one of my anonymous busts. This is a little candy that I produce. Maybe you have seen, some of you, the anonymous bust contest on the social media, right? I organized that. I don't know if some of you participate there. No? Well, you should. Next year it will be another one. Is me or is too hot here? It's too hot, so it's not me. Okay. I'm a little bit ill, and it's my first time with glasses. So apart from telling me how handsome I am with these glasses, sorry if I'm a little bit confused, because sincerely I don't see like in a normal way, you know, and everything looks very strange. But without glasses I don't see very well. So I will start without glasses because it's a little bit dizzying. If you have any questions, especially for the ones who don't know me, who are the majority here, I'm very aggressive in my way of painting. And I don't know exactly which things could be interesting for you to know, because for me, and probably the ones who follows me, the mixing thing shouldn't be very difficult, right? The thing is that I didn't brought colors because I thought they will be here. These things happens, you know. I basically live traveling. I come now from a tour in the US that I've been a month touring in 3 different cities, Seattle, Chicago, San Francisco, and I was in the Adepticon doing many classes. So basically, this is my, I don't know what week, the number of the weekends I've been working in a row. So this is not because I'm unorganized, it's because you never know what you will find in an event where you have never been, and this is my first time here. I thought we will have more colors. Anyway, it's not a problem because then we can mix with the primary colors, which is the basis of painting. I don't know if you are miniature painters or not. Who is a miniature painter here? Most of you. Who is a tank painter or something? 2. It's only 2 enemies, guys, so we can... No, I just don't know about tanks, you know. One day I had to judge in a contest and I gave up because I didn't know what to judge, you know. To me, we're all nice.
You have more to learn also.
What?
We have more to learn also.
More to learn. Well, I think that both of us, we have to learn from each other. And this will be much better if we make a stronger community rather than staying separated, because it's the same thing, it's painting. Indeed, most of your, well, sorry if I sweat, but it's like being in a jungle here. Indeed, many miniature painters, we stole techniques from the dioramas, tank painting, because, you know, it makes sense. At the end, it's a matter of achieving the more resources you can. And I think that there is a lack of interaction between 2 worlds. Unfortunately, we don't know each other, and that's a pity. Indeed, now I have been asking for some colors, and the first question was, who are you? You know, which is fine. I mean, obviously, I don't know everybody. Not everybody has to know me, and I didn't know the guy that I was asking for colors. But it's a pity because I think that we could learn much more if we share our different visions and techniques, especially because the people who make tanks, sometimes they do dioramas. The tank is fantastic, but the figure that goes with the tank is almost like flat. And also because when you go to the miniature section, most of the times you see like scratches or effects, rusted effects that come from there are techniques from tanks, and they are badly applied in the miniature because no one told that guy that you cannot play scratches everywhere, because not everywhere is where you rust the material, for example. So I don't know why I'm speaking about this, but it was a nice conversation with you. So these are the three primary colors, and I'm going to start mixing skin tones, because how many of you do your own skin tones? You will feel bored about this. Oli? How many of you buy pre-made skin tones? Many, okay.
Mr. Sister.
No? No inks? Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. If you, well, you can find me something else. Can you find me another, like give me a couple, like 3 primaries, like another red, another blue, another yellow that are not this one, so any other primary colors, like any other yellow, any other blue, any other red that are not the same.
Not from Bro level.
No, not because of the company, that they are not the same tone, you know? I'm searching for different tones.
All right.
And also an orange and a green. That's the only thing.
Okay.
That's fine?
Okay.
And a white. Like, do you want me to write it?
Pen?
No, do you want me to write my...
Oh, yeah, you can, yeah. Is that okay from Scale 75?
Perfect.
All right, okay.
I work for them, so they should give you the colors.
Yeah, they said you were there a couple of minutes ago for ink, but
Yeah.
you forgot to mention to me, you know.
We don't need anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He's doing your job.
Listen,
huh?
listen. Yeah, absolutely. Ask me.
Well, by the way, I designed these paints. You know that?
Bye.
Thank you very much. So I designed these paints when I was working in Scale 75. And to be fair, yellow is shit. Apart from this, the rest are quite interesting. Yellow and red should be much better, but chestnut, green, blue, they're quite nice. These inks, do you play with inks or not? No. Because inks are this thing that Games Workshop told you that are to make glazes, and that's it, no? Inks are super powerful pigments. And the pigment is cohesive, it's unified, right? So you can thin it down without losing the property, while with other paints the pigment will separate, especially if you work with Vallejo, Andrea, or the regular line of Scale 75, that they are very dual colors. I'm not saying anything wrong against these guys that give me those 3 colors, thank you very much. But the truth is that the pigment is quite dull, it's not a very strong pigment. This is not bad, this is not good, this is just a fact, right? This is a fact because we live in a world where no one teaches you how to mix, and no one teaches you how to use colors. And me being inside of this industry, I know what they think about that and why they produce the colors like this, not Vallejo because I've never been with Vallejo, but I can suppose many things. And it's basically to make things easier for you, because they think that you cannot control the color, basically, that you can only apply dual colors that are not strong enough. Are you bothered at this point or angry with me because of something?
Continue, please.
I can continue. Thank you very much. I always make a double check because I don't want to be killed.
Only one question. Are you finished art school or something like that?
Well, I teach.
Your education.
I teach art. I teach painting since like 12 years ago.
You finished the.
No. I didn't. I study advertising.
That was the question. Thank you.
But it's interesting because I saw that advertising was the most boring things ever, and that it was all about cheating. I don't know if you're advertisers here, but I learned that it was all about saying bullshit that is not true, and then I decided to move to painting, to miniature painting, because I thought it was more real. And then I realized that the only way to say the truth, it was to say it by myself. Anyway, so the point is, if you are asking me if I have a degree, the answer is no. If you're asking me if I have experience teaching, the answer is I have 800 students all over the world, including some people that are here, and probably a big percentage of the people that are giving classes.
Because I'm an engineer.
Oh, you're an engineer, yes. So you are my most beloved enemy. Yeah.
Somebody who learned in the school how to mix the colors.
Well, so then this will be not a normal demo. This will be like an interesting conversation because I love engineers, because they always make things harder for me. But you put interesting milestones in my way, so then I can explain it better. Color is not mathematical, unfortunately, for many people that could understand this better, right? It's better for me that I cannot count without my hands, basically, because I'm stupid apart from miniature painting, you know? I'm a great miniature painter, I'm a great painter, but but I'm super stupid in the rest of my life. And that's a fact. You can ask my wife if you don't trust me. But the point is that with this, I know what I'm talking about. First, because I have design paints, like these ones.
Who learned you how to mix the paint and so on so?
Myself.
This was the
Myself, and because I have a big background of, in my family, art was always something very important. I didn't know about music. I didn't know Led Zeppelin until I was 21, which is a shame. But I knew who was Velázquez when I was 2. So I have been analyzing pictures with my dad since I was like this, basically, right? And then when I come to the miniature world and I started to work in if you are bored, you can throw me your shoe or spit me, whatever. I'm from Spain, you know, I'm used to these things. So the point is that I know how companies think about that. They think that they should give you a step-by-step process because this is the only thing that you can process yourself. They are thinking that we are stupid, basically, right? We're not stupid, but we are very lazy. That's a reality. Most of the people want to have pre-made mixtures because it's easier for them. Well, it's not easy, indeed. It's just lazier. Skin? Inks offer us different properties because the pigment is much more concentrated, is thinner, and is stronger, is more vibrant, right? These are not the best inks, to be fair. Indeed, they are very mediocre inks. The reason is that when we proposed, when we were discussing about which inks to do, the boss of Scale 75, that is a friend, so even if I speak bad things about some of the products, they have produced a book with me, so at least they are not so uncomfortable with this situation. The reason is that most people don't know what to do with this, right? But they enhance the mixtures. How many skin tones you see here? Or at least skin tones that you can, or parts of skin tones that you can use? Because that's also a skin tone. That is, I promise you. Yeah. So there is a topic that is quite interesting for me, or my way to teach, or the thing that I want to spread in the miniature world. That fortunately there are many people that don't know me here, so I can spread this more. Then it's up to you. I saw you somewhere. Could be? No? You? Yeah. No? So then it's because you are very beautiful and in the middle of the... Sorry, if it's your humor, whatever, it's the truth. Anyway, so one good thing about not being known is that I can also surprise you to a point, right? Or at least I can try to deliver a message. The message is pretty clear. If you consider yourself a painter, you need to be able to paint. In order to be able to paint, you need to be able to mix. If you don't mix, you don't paint. If you don't mix, you colorize. It's a different thing. Because you are not in charge of the colors, basically. If you take a pre-made set of colors, all the skin tones will be the same. And it's something that when I judge a contest, I have judged this one with Tue some minutes ago, or any contest, I have judged 3 World Expos, Monte San Sabino like 5 times, the Crystal Brush, Golden Demon, well, you can choose. Soldat de Plom, almost every contest, right? And I always see the same thing. I always see the same tendons, especially in the historical side, which makes sense because, you know, they are, or you are, or we are, because I think it's pointless to separate. I think that we should be all together. Because obviously if I know how to paint an amazing elf, probably I know how to paint an amazing Napoleon. You know, it's not a matter. Maybe then I have to study a little bit better if Napoleon used this hat or not, but that's the only difference, basically. And also, I don't think it's very important because probably none of us, we know how was the exact color of Napoleon in the Battle of Leipzig in 1815, for example, right? But we have been divided all our life because, sincerely, the companies think that we are pretty stupid. And it's just a matter of this culture of pre-made step-by-step when people told you that you have to paint with rounded brushes, fake, that you have to paint thinning down the paint, fake, that you have to paint in different, like dividing in stages, like first the shadow, then the midtone, then the light, or the opposite, fake, that you have to paint only with matte colors, fake, check your face, see if it's, well, mine, I'm sweating now, so probably not matte at all, right? I don't know if you can see something. Yeah, thank you very much. You're an amazing camera. It's quite good. What's this camera? Well, I am colorizing this without specific sense because this kind of freestyle exercise is another thing that I try to encourage the people to try. First, because it's very relieving. Every time that you don't think is relieving, we're thinking every day, every hour, and we are constantly being constrained by rules. Am I right? I mean, you cannot kill your neighbor when you hate him. You cannot do many things that could be very relieving to do sometimes, fortunately, because otherwise probably half of the room will be dead. But the truth is that I cannot understand so many rules in miniatures. This is a hobby. How many of you are professionals? More or less? You are professional. No, yeah, you are. Well, 2 professionals, okay? Yeah. 2. Come on. So, and John, well, not because you don't want, but yeah. Well, the rest you're not professional. So I guess that you paint because you love painting, no? You enjoy painting. Am I right? Yeah? Mm-hmm. So then why you have rules when you paint? Ask this to yourself. This is like if you are with your wife. I do sexual comments sometimes, but I promise you it's in the best way, you know, in the best. So I put my own examples, you know. I think that when I'm with my wife, I don't have to have any limit unless she tells me that there is a limit, or I tell her there is a limit, right? The rest is just about enjoying, and it's a private moment. Hello. And because it's a private moment is when you enjoy more. Do you agree with that or not? Or you think that it's better to be constrained by rules in everything? Like rules, you cannot eat, I don't know, Frosties, like cereals, with whatever. Yogurt. With yogurt, why not? Well, that makes sense because it combines really well, but with fish, that could be disgusting. Then you go somewhere and they mix it well and it tastes nice and it's the first time, oh my God, I never thought about my mom. She's like 70 years old. One day I made a salad and I put some grapes on the salad. And she was like, what the fuck is this? It's like, grapes, this is fruit, this should be a dessert. I was like, have you tried? No, I will not. Why? Try it, it tastes good. So with colors it's quite similar because colors are ingredients. And ingredients is like food, it's exactly the same. It's really, really pretty similar. So colors, they have certain properties that we don't have the time to speak about. I normally spend 2 full days of color theory in my courses that he has witnessed. And you have? No, you haven't. You lose your chance because I'm done with them. Anyway, so over a weekend I explain color theory. Color theory can be explained even through more time. But there is a lot of this to discuss about colors, you know. There are reasons to choose some colors or not, obviously. But basically, this is like ingredients. You have to try the ingredient first, to see how it tastes. Otherwise, you cannot combine it well, right? Does it make sense till this point, or not? Or is it just something ugly and that's it? If you see me adding ink, it's because I want more strength, because I want to boost the color. The colors have strength, and they have different strength between themselves. It's free, don't worry. The reason why I bring with that I found a big palette like this is because it's also related with the attitude of how you paint. If you paint like this, like that, then you translate this to that, right? That's the reason why he's so thin, kidding. And to me, he's the best, or the second best in the world. So all my respect to him. But have you seen him painting? That he's like, right? Is very different, no? This is also a speech about freedom, where I say, I prefer my way of painting, but I enjoy to see his pieces more than mine, because, you know, I don't excite myself. I feel excited when I'm painting because I feel free. But I love to see his amazingly accurate paintings, that every brushstroke is completely perfect, because he's completely different than me. And I enjoy seeing different things, right? Otherwise, imagine that you have your best record of your favorite music band, and you have to listen to it all your life, every day, every minute. Do you think that you will still love it after a while? No? I need some feedback, guys, because I'm tired and this is not exciting for me anymore. I've been doing this for like 7 weeks in a row in different countries. So please give me some feedback. I mean, if you think that I'm saying stupid things, you can also discuss. This is all about freedom of speech. Do you agree with that? Yeah? You're just a little bit tired because it's siesta time? No? I get it. Well, this could be my initial sketch, for example. In this sketch, I am mixing different concepts, because we are very used to say the midtones, the light, the shadows. Yes or not? How many times have you heard those concepts? Many times? Like if the real light or the real things that we want to represent, that is very funny to hear when people say, no, we're searching for realism. Oh, really? Are you searching for realism when you paint a zenithal source light? That is just highlighting this, and this. Is that realistic? I'm less real now? No, now I'm real. Now I'm not real. And then there's another point which is quite interesting, because apart from the fact that I am not in my best shape and I'm getting bald and blind, but I'm still handsome, you know? That's a good thing. But if you see me 10 years ago, you will all be like, oh my God. At this time, I was working in this miniature world, but 15 years ago, I was working in this miniature world, and I have been seeing the same comments over the last 15 or 17 years. When I entered to work in Andrea Miniatures, it was 2002. The same comments has been said from the last 17 years. Like, no, fantasy, they search for I don't know what, you know, like colors everywhere without no reason, and sometimes they are right, because sometimes it's like, why? I mean, why this bird is green? Oh, because I didn't use green, and it was a bird, so why not? Okay, perfect, but this green goes completely out of the composition, so that's wrong. And then you go to the historical side that they don't allow me to judge, because I don't have the accurate knowledge of what kind of underwear Napoleon used in that age. Perfect. But I'm a painter, you know, so I can judge if something is well painted or not. Maybe a new unimorphologist, did that make sense? Can tell me that's not really accurate. But color, and this is something interesting about color, is that color is not absolute. You know that? The color doesn't exist. You know that? Who is agree with that? The rest, they are not agree because they say, I see green. Okay. The green you see is maybe not the green I see. That first. The green you see here is different than the green you see out there. That next. The ambience effect. So I don't give a shit how, I'm not bilingual, so I need to swear, okay? Excuse for the youth, right? Don't swear, it's not, or swear only with a good purpose. Sometimes it works. I don't give a shit about painting the Napoleonic red, because that Napoleonic red, I promise you that Napoleon didn't went to Vallejo and he told you, all my capes will be with this color. Otherwise, you will be fired, man. And that means guillotine, right? No. The color reacts differently under different light conditions, under different ambiances, under different light circumstances, right? Also, the color fades out with the time. Even more if you are in a battle. And we are battle lovers. Hello. You have missed the most important part. Anyway, they will summarize later. What I was saying? Okay. Okay. Fading colors. But there are some other questions as well. Like, this beautiful night I'm going to paint with the perfect colors of a crusader from whatever country. That has to be in these exact colors. He's in Jerusalem. Okay, so these colors don't look the same like they looked in Sweden. That first. Second, this guy has been traveling for 6 months. So probably they look even worse. And then he's covered in blood because he has killed many people, right? Which means that he is not a very good person probably. And also that the colors are affected by this, right? So how can you explain that most of the pieces have maybe a couple of splatter of blood in certain areas, but the face is perfectly clean, like if he was coming out from an advert? Do you think that that makes sense? Especially if we search for realism, right? If we don't search for realism, then I don't care. And then I search for an aesthetic view. And if I search for an aesthetic view, then I have to judge differently. And I cannot judge from the unimorphology, or I cannot judge from, I'm not saying paint pink a Roman legionnaire, because you are placing him in a specific background, right? That makes sense, obviously. But if you see, for example, with this topic of the non-metallic, that was heretic, believe me or not, the young people will probably not believe me, but when we started to paint non-metallic, and I say we, because I'm like a vampire, very old for this, when we started to paint non-metallic, it was beginning of the 2000, and started with Rackham, you will remember this, right? The first thing that we received from the historical side was like, this is not real, because real is metallic paint. Have you ever heard this?
Yes.
Who has heard this? Okay, so I have witnesses, right? Then my answer, because I was a little bit naughty for a young guy, I'm 35 years old, right? So I've been here since 18 or 19 years old. And obviously when you are uglier and fat and more old, they take you more in consideration, you know? But when you are not like this, it's like, oh, this naughty guy, you know, that is bothering us, right? But I asked them, like, well, I think that Velázquez or Rembrandt, they didn't paint with mithril silver. Just guessing, no? At least when I go to a museum, I see non-metallic fucking everywhere. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you agree with that? Yeah? Thank you very much. Another thing is, does the non-metallic works in every angle? Well, it depends how good you are. Kirill, yeah, it works everywhere, in every shape, in every angle. Why? Because he's a master. Obviously, because he fakes, it's not realistic, he fakes every single view to his purpose. So a painter is more like a sorcerer or a magician that tells you, hey, look at here, while he's doing something in the background, right? And that's part of my job. Hi, we were waiting for you. You good? Welcome. So, this is how it goes now. That's the sketch. Do you understand the sketch? Where the light comes? Yeah? How long it took? Real time, not speaking time.
2 minutes.
2 minutes? That's the concept of a sketch. When we speak about sketches, this is quite interesting as well, because some people say, A sketch is the starting point of something. Yeah? That's one definition. Because we define the outcome by his purpose. A sketch is my way to interpret the things very quickly, so then if I want to change the color, I have lost 2 minutes of my life. Nothing else, right? Which is also related with another topic. I'm here just to bother you a little bit and poke you, so tomorrow you think a little bit about that and you can also hate me, and I can add more haters to my army of haters. I have some lovers as well, right? You are my lover. So
We all hate you.
but you need me. So the point is, yeah, this is. Sorry for the speech, but I need to put myself into this theater somehow. Otherwise, I'd be super bored because I spend this every weekend, and it's not exciting anymore, you know. But I think that the topic is quite interesting because if you are able to sketch something really quickly, and it's a pity I couldn't bring any sketches. I couldn't. But if you see my sketches, I think you have seen my sketches, they work. And they work also finished already, right? I'm running a Patreon right now that is $13. This is advertising, but I suggest you to give it a try, sincerely, because it's an endless amount of information. Are you on Patreon?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Then I give you the money back. So, there is an endless amount of information. We are producing many videos, not that last month because I've been out. And it's the concept of an academy. This is not about how I paint because that doesn't matter. How I paint, it matters for me, but not for you. Maybe if you are a super big fan, although that is not the case because none of you know me before. So, but the concept of an academy is important because we are showing you all the different techniques, all the different methods, all the different approaches, because at the end, this is a matter of doing whatever you want, right? And this is something that we have a big lack in the miniature industry, because they told us how to paint this, how to paint red. And then Danilo Cartacci come to you and tell you, this is the red I use, this, and this. Don't get me wrong, I love Danilo Cartacci, not him personally, I love his figures. And I love his